a password to that to put a password. So if you put a password correctly, if it's requesting for the password, you should be able to remember it, except you can't recall it. Exactly, someone is responding on the call. Okay. So let's kick off with where we stopped. All right. So all right, so we stopped at DDL, that's data definition language. All right. And we saw how we're able to create a database, and then using the specific keywords, clauses, and the combination of these keywords that make up statements in SQL. All right. So we created the database. I said if you run this query again, all right, it will give you an error showing that this database exists already. Okay. And so to show the database that are on this local instance, we use the show keyword, and then there's a difference between the database here and the database here. This does not carry the letter S. I think let me zoom in. All right. So this is better. So to show the database that are in this, I run it and you see a list of them here. Okay. So I can get rid of this. Now, having created your database, all right, there will be a number of times you want to use it. That's where the use keyword comes in. So if you want to make use of the database, if you want to alter the database, if you want to modify it, if you want to query it, you must activate the keyword use. All right, that's what it's used for. So we've created this database now, TEFEM. All right, so we can hatch it and execute it. Okay. By so doing, I've been able to activate it, so the database is ready for use. All right, so we've walked through these definitions of DDL. We've used the create table, the create keyword. I said the create keyword creates a new database object, e.g. a table or a schema. All right. So now we've created a schema, a database. All right, we've created a database. Let's create a table now, because remember I said a database is a collection of information stored in a table. So we have our database already, so we can now begin to create tables within our database. All right. So to do that, we'll use the keyword. The creation of a table is done by using the create table statement. All right. So I remember I said keywords, they make up statements. So it's just like you're writing a sentence. Okay. So let's write a comment here. Creating a table, right? So to create a table, you use the create keyword. Remember, we're still under DDL, data definition language, using the create keyword. So we say create, all right, the create table keyword. Remember when we're creating a database, we used the keyword create database. Now we're creating a table. So for readability, you could leave it both in caps capital letters, or you could leave the table in lowercase, depending on what I just for readability. All right, so create table. So the syntax is create table followed by the table name. So what you want to name your table as. All right, what do you want to name your table as? So let's assume that we want to create a product table where we have all our products. All right. This is what we're going to do. We write the product name, the table name. So you will name the table product. So remember, like English language, when you write a sentence or you write a statement, to show that you are done with the statement, we use the full stop. So likewise in SQL, SQL is a language, structured query language. All right. So if we want to end this statement, we use the semicolon. All right. So this is how you create a table. All right. So I'll hatch this query. You could use your Control Shift key, a combination of the Control Shift and Enter key. Those are 3 keys. Or you could make use of this Thunderbolt sign here. Execute the selected portion. It executes the selected portion of the script or everything if there is no selection. So what it means is that if I just stay here and use the combination of the Control Shift and Enter key, you can look at the latest, the recent information is giving me on my output section. You can see it says create database TEFEM. It's returning an error. That's because if I don't highlight it and run the query from this symbol here and just do it like this, I just put where I just leave my cursor here and then use my Shift and Enter key, it runs the whole script. And the way it reads it is that it will start from here, basically from the first line of code. So it ignores all of this because these are comments. All right. It ignores all of this because these are comments. And it comes to the next line of code. So it will now hatch this and run it. So having run this query or this code or this statement, it's already reporting that there's a database called TEFEM that already exists. So that's why we always hatch the single line of code if you want to create a table. All right. But if I want to run it, if for example, if I've written a lot of codes I write, and I can decide to now highlight everything, just the portion, and then use my combination keys, Control Shift and Enter, or this sign. But now, since I want to just create this table, a single line of code, I have to hatch it and specify that, okay, this is what I want to. So I could highlight it and use my Control Shift key here now because it's highlighted, and then, or I could use my this symbol here. All right, so just know the difference so that when you are running into problems, you can troubleshoot. So I'll get rid of this, and then I'll highlight this, use my Control Shift Enter key. Okay, it's telling me that a table called product already exists. No, okay, let's read the code. A table must have. Okay. So that was a mistake. Beatrice, what do you mean? Just in your comments on the chat box. Okay, so my cursor is not moving. Is anyone experiencing Can you be specific? Like, I don't get it.
Yes, sir.
My cursor is not moving
Yes, sir.
up till now.
It's
How long has
moving.
this?
It's moving.
Okay, okay, all right. I think I observed that too from the other screen I'm joining in with. Okay, so I believe we're good now, right? Thumbs up. All right. So to create a table, this is the syntax. All right. So this is, I think this should be in that material I shared. Let me check. Filtering. Okay. I think this should be here. All right. So this is the syntax. All right. So we're currently on DDL. Okay. Go through the material. Later on, I will add another subcategory. All right. That I feel it's very fundamental. We should know DDL. There are like 4 or 5 categories, but the 3 basic ones. All right. So DDL is just for defining your database. So this is what we're about to do, create a new database or an object. All right. So I think I should just share my entire screen. All right. So to create a table, this is the syntax. You write the keyword create, then table, and then the name of the table you want to create. So we'll call this products, and then we'll put our parentheses. So this means that we're about to define a table now, the structure of a table. Remember, the DDL language is to define the structure of a table or a database. So we want to define the structure of this table. So we write the product. This is the syntax. All right, get familiar with it as you progress on your journey writing SQL. So I come here and put my semicolon. And just for readability too, this way is written. So I click on enter here because I want to begin to define my table names. All right. So I come over here and put, so we want to define our table now, and the table will have this structure. The table is going to have a product ID, all right, a product name, category, product price, and manufacturing date. So those are, I think, 5 columns. All right. So remember, this is what we're about to do here now. Remember the analogy I gave the last class. All right, this is what we're about to do. So we're creating this. All right, so what we're defining our table now before we begin to insert. So let's progress. So the first thing I'm going to do is to write my colon name. I want to name my colon as the ID colon as product ID. Okay. So let me reference this material. I think this it will help us. Let me reference some of these materials so that we're not lost as I think. Yeah, data types. All right. So remember I said there are different types of data. different types of data types in SQL. The first is the integer data type. All right, it stores integer numeric values. All right, pay close attention. It stores integer numeric values. So because my colon name ID, product ID, is going to store numeric values such as 1, 2, 3. Normal, these are primary keys, okay, to identify, they are unique keys to identify each record in a table. So this is the syntax. I'm going to write the product name comes first, all right, and then the data type it's going to hold in that colon. So I'm going to define the data type using the int. Look at it, the int keyword. Okay, keyword int, it means integer. So it's going to store numeric value. So this is the syntax, the way you write it, how to create a table in SQL. Right. So I'm going to put integer, all right, and put my comma. That's to signify I'm done defining or defining a colon, and then the data type is going to hold or store. Okay, so I'm going to come over down. I'm coming over down here, and the next colon I want to create is, I think, the product name. Okay, so the product name. So this will be the product name. I'm naming, these are the colons. These are the name of the colons. All right, product name. Okay. So the next thing too, what would be, let me ask a question here now from the example I just gave. So what will be, how are we going to define this? What's the data type that product name is going to hold? Okay, Beverly, go ahead.
String.
String, right? Okay, so this is the data type it's going to hold. So we define it string. Later on, I think I will come up. There's still some notes I want to share. All right, so I would come up with those notes so that we would have a clear understanding of the syntax. All right, so there's some syntax already in the notes I've shared. So go through the notes for proper clarity at your free time. All right, so it's string. So back to our data types. So you see, this is varying character string. All right, so it says it stores text value. The number in the parentheses presents the character space allocated in the tables. All right, so to define that colon, the information is going to store, which is string value. Of course, it's going to be a text value. We use the word, the data type varchar. All right, so that's what it means. And then the colon, this number allocated is the space it's going to allocate for each table in. Okay, so go over to my workbench and write varchar. Just for readability, I like leaving it in caps lock. All right, so varchar. So I'm defining this colon as my string colon, and I'm going to put my. So this is the syntax. All right, if you miss one of these, it will return an error. So writing codes now, you have to be more careful. All right. So if not, this is where I don't know if you've heard of the word debugging. So this is where you actually get to see a lot of debugging. You do a lot of debugging if you write a wrong syntax. So it's just like English language. We have French. We have different languages. All right. So this is SQL now. So this is how you write it. If you are going to write a letter, a formal letter, you know how to write it. The recipient address, the heading, and the likes, paragraph. Exactly. So think of it like this. This is a different language entirely. So you have to know the fundamentals, the building blocks of this language. All right. So because our product name is going to contain text values, we will define the characters that we want to put in it. Okay. So the number of characters represents the number of, that's this bracket now is the number of characters our table will assign to that colon. All right. So it is recommended to store or define a data type colon that is, sorry, it's not recommended. It's not recommended to store or define a data type colon that is larger than the information you intend to store because of space. So it's not recommended. So if you know in your in your mind that the name, the product name, the highest length of the product name is going to be, let's say, 15. So it's best practice to maybe do 20, because the more if I allocate 100, so in programming, of course, we call all of these bytes, we have them in bytes, the storage space, RAM, processor, and the likes. So if I got, there's no need. This is like sewing, like I mentioned in last, like sewing an extra size clothes for someone. All right. So we don't need those extra spaces. So someone like me now, my surname is 13 characters. So if I want to create a database that contains surname, I can say, okay, an average surname, okay, let's leave it as maybe 20. All right. So I've not seen any name that is as long as 20. So we can use 20 because of space. All right. So whenever you have a very character that is going to require more than 20, please go ahead to include the allocated size for it. So the next thing, I'll put my comma. All right. So I'm writing. All right. So just for readability, you could use your tab key to just make your codes fine, or whatever. You see a lot of things like this. All right. So let's keep it simple. All right. So the next colon. So picture it like this. So this is what it's doing. Okay. We're creating a colon here. We've created ID. All right. And we've created what again? Product name. So this is actually what this code is doing behind the scene. Product name. Now, if you observe, okay, it is the rule. It's one of the is the programming rule that you don't leave spaces. If you see, I'm combining both words together. If you leave spaces, it will return error. You can see this sign now. It has just jumped this X sign. All right, it has just this negative sign here. It shows that see, it has underlined it. There's a syntax error here. So you don't leave space. All right. If you want to leave space, if you want to space it, if you want to space things up, it's either you use the underscore. All right. So we can define. So if you want, so if you use the underscore, when next you are trying to query the data to return just the product ID colon. All right. You have to include the underscore. Excuse me. Okay. So whichever one of them goes. All right. So we could use the product ID underscore. Let me just make use of both of them so that we can see how it's being done. So the next colon is our category. So I'm interested in naming a category colon. Category colon. All right. Category of this product. So who can tell me the next data type we'll be assigning to this?
I think it is still
Category colon.
voucher.
Okay. Voucher. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So voucher. All right. So we can assign 20. The moment you assign a value lower than the record, it will return an error. All right. So my name is 3-letter words. EFE. So if I put 2, that means it will return an error that the space allocated to store that name, EFE, is smaller than the size. All right. So it's always recommended you put something a bit above the size. So we put 20 and we put our comma. So the next column we want to store is price. So I want to call this price of the product. Please, class, who would answer this? So what am I going to put here? Raise your hands if you have an idea. Wow, I have a lot of hands up. Okay, Sophia, go ahead. Keep your hands up. We'll see, Sophia, go ahead.
The integer.
The integer. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Priscilla.
Int.
That's integer.
Integer. Okay. All right.
In.
Thank you. Inspire.
So I think it's the decimal because the price might have some points in it. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Beverly.
Yeah, same thing Inspire said, float, because of the decimal.
Okay. This name. Ninye. I hope I pronounce it well.
So I think it's decimal
Okay.
because you have some points. It's Neye.
Ninye. All right. Thank you. Okay. Any more attempt? All right. So thank you. So so the correct answer is decimal. All right. Where's that note again? So this is it. Thank you for the attempt. All right. So decimal, this is the data type. Okay. So unlike every other programming language now, you just or any other data analyst tool, some like Excel, when you just Excel gives you the function of formatting your data. All right. So if you are putting the wrong data type, if you are using general for date, it will return error. You know, Excel does that. Even Power BI also. So we have to be very specific when creating a table. So this is the decimal data type in SQL. So it stores fractions, the equivalent of a float, like someone mentioned that just now, that Beverly, and double in Java. So if you're used to JavaScript writing those programs, you come across this. Okay, so the parameter m. Now, what does this parameter? So the parameter represent the total number of digits assigned to the entry. Okay, so for example, for the number, let's say the price of the product is $4.56. All right, M stands for 3. So when we're writing the function or when we're writing the data type, in the place of M, we'll put 3. All right, in place of M, we'll put 3 because the total value, the total number is 3. So if we are putting $604.56, so total number will be 604, which is 123, then 56, making it 5. So M will represent 5. So we'll put 5 in place of M when writing it. And then the parameter N represents the number of digits after the comma. So how many digits, how many points, how many digits after the point? Is it 2? So this is 2. All right. Inspire. Go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, sir, I want to ask this question. Since you said NDM represents the length of
Exactly, the
the number
length.
of digits of the value we have for the price. Okay, what if the value varies? Like the length of the value varies. How are we going to do that so that it will not show error when we are inserting the value? You know, you've specified that for the length should be 5 and the value after the decimal should be like 2. So what if some of the value, like the length is 6 and the value after it is also 2? How are we going to go about that?
Okay, so to do that, the M represents just like this voucher 20. Does not mean we exhaust the whole of 20, the space allocated. Same thing applies for the letter M. So if we put 3, does not mean we can put 4.5, but that's the total number. So if you put something that exceeds this space allocated for it, it will return an error. Is that understood?
I can't get you what you said, sir.
I said, just I can mention, we put 20 here. Okay, the data we're entering does not have to exhaust the whole of the space allocated for it. In this case, we're using 20. So if a category name is or if a product name is biscuit, it's not up to 10-letter words. That does not mean this is not up to 10-letter words. So it's not exhausting the whole space allocated for that entry. Same thing applies for, where is this thing? Same thing applies for it, for this. So if we put, so just know the maximum limit, the maximum length of digit you want to put, and give space above it. So if the maximum length, so let's say we're writing something like 600.85. So the length here is 5. So we can allocate 7. M can represent 7 so that we don't overshoot. It's just like when you're sewing a clothes for yourself. All right, they get your measurement, but they give you allowance. Same thing applies to several industries too. In engineering, if you are constructing a bridge, you give allowance for expansion, or roads they expand. So you don't, so just the way you sew your clothes, you don't sew something that will hug your body, or that will be too tight. You give allowance. It's just the analogy here.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. So now let's practicalize it. So the price, since yes, so Beatrice, so we can't give. Okay, I think I will run. I would just try and do something that will return an error. So we can't give. So if we want to enter 5 digits, we can't allocate 4 to the size of that data we're entering. It will run an error, because you're just like saying I invited 4 guests to my house, and then I'm providing 3 chairs. Where would the 4th person sit down? So there has to be either 4 chairs to accommodate the 4 guests, or more than 4 chairs. That's what it means. So it's always best to put more than 4 chairs. Is that explanation? Does it go? Okay, all right, thank you. So yes, so this will be a decimal. All right, this will be a decimal data type. So decimal. All right, and I'm going to define it. So I'll define it as ten. Let's do 6, comma. Oh no, let's just put 10. Let's just put 10. Oh, what's well, let me. Okay, let's just put 6, comma. With, of course, 2, and nothing should exceed the more than 2 decimal places. So 6, comma 2. So remember, 6 represents the total size, all right, of the information we want to store, while 2 is the decimal point. Right. So the next thing is the last column we want to create is the manufacturing date. Right. So manufacturing date. There's a hand up. Who's that? All right, Chini.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So this is comma 2. The 6 is it just for the whole number, or the whole number and the decimal?
So
Like
let's
when
say we
we
want to
have
put
4
yes,
points.
yes, including the decimal, So let's say we want to put what's the word now? Let's say $600. So this is $600. All right, $600. The price of a product is $600, 99 cents. So the total number here is
6. Okay.
6. No, this total number here is
Okay, the
6.
point is not counted.
The point is not counted.
Okay, so 5.
So I put 6 to be on the safe side. So at the event where I put make it 6,000, it will still accommodate it because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the moment where when I put 8 here, it will return an error. Someone would experiment it. Or if I now come and put 0 here again to make it 60,000. In fact, by putting 8 here, it has defiled the total side because it's no longer 6. It's now 7. So even if I come and put 0 here, this is $60,000.99. This is beyond 6 already to return an error. So this represents the 6. Look at it now. The 6, the M, which is the 6 in this case, it represents what? For the number. Let me get rid of this. How am I using $600 every time? So this is the parameter M represents what is it? Okay, the parameter M represents the total number of digits assigned to that entry.
Okay.
There's something coming. So I'm using $600. Let me key in. What did I just do? All right. So are we good? Are we good? Thumbs up.
Yeah.
If we're good, let me proceed. All right. Thank you. So manufacturing dates. Who wants to give it an attempt? See competition. Inspire and Beverly. You guys are the ones hot too. What's up now? People prepared for me. Okay, yes, I've not heard Mistress voice in a while. Please go ahead. Let's make it even. Hello? Beatrice, your hands are up. Let me hear you.
Okay, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Going.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, please go ahead. You want to ask a question or you want to answer my question?
I want to ask a question first.
Okay, go ahead, please, ma'am.
Okay, my question goes like this, please. It's a little bit off from this class, but it's still an analysis class. Analysis question. I want to know
Okay,
at what point should SQL be used? How do we know which one to use in a case? When to use SQL, when to use Excel, and when to use PowerPoint? Thank you, sir.
all right. Okay, you asked my question. I answer my question. Okay, she's gone. All right. Who hasn't spoken again? Victoria.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
We'll use a date function.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let me answer your question briefly. That's the correct answer. Yeah, they use the date function. Data type, not function. All right, so what was the question again? When to use one? Beautiful question and asked at the right time. So times, no, let me not say times without number because I can literally count how many times that question has been raised. So when to use which? All right. So I'm always referring us back to the very class we had with us in like the very first class, that unlocking inside, and that was anchored by my co-facilitator, Mr. Daniel. Very interesting and um, informative session. So where he talked about Excel, Power BI, and SQL. All right. So Excel is more like a standalone tool. All right. To use that word, what's the word now? Jack of all trade, master of none. All right. So as you go up the, not as you go up the hierarchy, because all of the tools are both important. So Excel, okay. Basically, one of Excel's strengths is that it can help you carry out, data cleaning. All right, you can carry out data cleaning, but you can also carry out data cleaning in SQL. The only challenge is that it is going to be done. It's not really daunting. If you know how to use SQL very well, you can clean data. All right, I've cleaned data using SQL a number of times. Okay, but that's not SQL's area of specialization. SQL, like I said, is a language, structured query language. It's used to interact with databases. All right, it's used to interact with your database. So it's a language, and that's why we're trying to understand all of these, keywords and the syntax, right? But basically, it is used to interact with the database, define a database, all right, which we are working on now, manipulate the database, and then query a database. So there are different subcategories of SQL, DDL, DML. There's what we call DQL, data querying language, which we'll eventually go into. All right. So there are different subcategories. So so I made a clear distinction. Database is different from RDBML, Relational Database Management System. MySQL is a relational database management system. Postgres is a relational database management system. We have what are the Oracle DB? We have SQL Server. We have different RDBMS and DBMS themselves. So now, to answer your question, SQL, okay, is used to what's the word? Analyze data, okay, to run queries, to generate insight. Also, this is a core tool that is used to analyze data, okay, aside defining the database, managing it. Okay, so in this class, we're just going to touch these three subcategories: DDL, DML, DQL. The other subcategories, okay, that's to now manage the users to that database, which is not really it's not it's a bit intermediate and advanced. Okay, to now know how to manage collaborating with other collaborators on database. So several people have access to the database. You can grant permissions and the likes. But aside that aspect of creation, it is used to also run queries and then analyze your data, like analysis. Okay, Python has its own strength too. Machine learning, R. See, R, you can also use R to clean your data. Okay, but just those are not the specific areas. R is for statistics. All right, I've used R for a while. SQL also. Power BI is a core visualization tool. You can also use there are different parts of Power BI, which is DAX too, to help you also make meaning from your data. So let me instead of saying all of this, let me just open a file I was working on, and this will be what we'll work on later. Open a file. Let's see. Document. Desktop. Open this file. Okay, so this is a file now. All right. So I was working on a database. Okay. So this is I was trying to carry out analysis. Okay, this is an old file. Some of the files, let me try and open different files. Let me see if I can open different files also. Someone's hands up. Richard, go ahead with your question. Raphael.
Good evening, sir.
All right.
I wanted to answer the question.
Okay. You can make your contribution.
It's a date format.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Yeah, correct. Where is this file? Okay, so this is a file I was working on, one file like that. So I was carrying out analysis on this file, all right, to answer some questions. Okay. So if you can see, I was trying to know the bestseller product, and I was just trying to make some comments here. Like, I think maybe this will work. This is a file we work on. It's a sales file, all right. So I was trying to write some queries: best-selling product line by sales quantity, and these were just some comments I was making. Okay, before after I did this file, I was able to visualize it in Power BI. All right, so you can see here, electronic accessories top the chart with total sales. It is obvious that customers purchase more electric items than at lower price than food and beverages. So this was after carrying out that analysis, trying to analyze the data set using some functions. All right, and these are analysis functions. We'll go into this later on in the class. All right. So all of these are clauses, group by and product line. I was trying to generate insights from my data. Okay, and these were the observations I was getting. So this will enable me in my reporting now. So I can say that, okay, after carrying out analysis on these sales, depending on the questions, I have answered. Okay, where is this? Let me open something else too. This is not comprehensive enough. Okay, I think we will even work on this. So I remember in which of the class I talked about feature engineering. Okay, this helps me generate new columns from existing ones. So I was trying to understand data sets to answer business questions. Okay, so these were some of the files. These were some of the codes I wrote. So just checking the data. That's what data analysis is all about. Okay, so this is just what data analysis is all about. When you see the word data, we've not really done really exploration. See, exploratory data analysis here. I was answering some generic questions. Okay, so it means you are diving deep into the data. You can stay on one problem for like hours, just trying to understand using all of these columns, all of these lines. And I was writing comments, asking questions. What is the most selling product? Okay. Whose hands up? Raphael. Okay. Beverly.
Yes, I wanted to ask a question. As data analyst, like in real life scenario, are we going to create tables and create database, or would the company already have their own database and the engineers will create the tables? Like, are we the ones responsible for creating the database and tables and everything?
Okay. Sorry, my mind wasn't here just now. I think I got part of the question. I was trying to attend to something. So your question goes: Are we going to create database or okay? I think I got the question correctly. So the thing is, most of the times, all right, database will not be there already. Sorry, database will be there already. Okay, database will be there already. Like, for example, this was the time I was preparing for a hackathon. I don't know, most of us know some hackathons then. about some, I think 2 years ago or so. So I was writing. They already provided database, okay, real database, and we're asked to generate insights from that database. Sometimes they won't give you questions. You ask questions, okay. So that's another part of data analysis, knowing how to ask the right question. Okay, now that was just a digression. So most of the time there's a database. Okay, currently I'm working for a, what's it now? Just started recently working for a fintech. All right, and then there's a database already. I would have shown you, but because of its privacy concerns too. So the database is already there most of the time. Most of the time you have database, and most of the time too, okay, you have to go outside and look for data. What I mean is that you see the data we've been working with since all of this data set, pizza sales, what again? All of those data sets working with now, some of them are not really dummy. If you download them from Cargo, you download them from different sites, you have database there. Okay, but it is limited in the sense that if I see a colon now, which let me open a, if I see a colon now, okay, which data will I make use of now, for example? Okay, yes, I remember that first database we worked with, HR database, right? And you see job performance. In real life now, you can go and download that data set from an online open source. You now see the colon, HR job, what's it called again, sef? Job performance, and then the job performance, the numbers are there. The highest performance is 10, the lowest is 1. What do you think actually, what's the factor? What do you think factored in to make that job performance 10? There's a lot of things. Could you what were the metrics to measure your job performance? All right, if somebody got the job performance of 5, there must be some factors. Is it checking time? Is it clock out time? Is it contribution to project in the company? Is it what are the factors that you can factor in to arrive at that job performance at 5? Okay, so that's when you now begin to collect more data. So what were the factors now? So I just gave example, but on that data set, you won't see something like that. Okay, you won't see something like, you won't see. So that's why you now have to, sometimes you have to collect data by using surveillance, by using survey. Okay, by using survey, by asking questions, gathering your data entry too. So most of the time, those data sets, they're limited. Sometimes when you download data set from Cargo, there's what we call data dictionary. Has anybody come across that before? Data dictionary. Okay, data dictionary, it contains the necessary information you need to handle that data. Now, the data set we use, what's it called? Adidas sales. It was limited because there was no data dictionary attached to it. It's just more like to simulate what's going on in the real world. But some real data sets, they come with data dictionary. So to tell you, okay, in a particular, in a sales column now, how did we get? Let me make this more practical. Where is my Power BI file? Let me open this visualization. Sorry, I'm driving. I just want to try to drive a point home. Most of the time, your data set comes. The company has database. If you have a company that has a good database, where they collect it, they have technology that collects this database instead of manual entry. Okay. Currently, I'm entering data for a particular the data entry is really it's really what's it now? It takes time. Where is this visualization? Okay, so see something now. This is how you begin to ask questions. If you're really curious. Let's see. Look at the revenues by sales method now. Okay, let me use the filter. Okay. All right. So look at it in 2020. So look at it now. This is the online, this online here, this dark biro blue. And this is light biro, this light blue, this is black. Look at now. Look at it though. We have $248 million. Let me click on 2020. Look at it. It has changed to $5 million. Okay. Can we see it? Let me zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, it has changed to $5 million. So let me change it back to, look at how you ask questions. So look at it in 2021. What can we see? 212, right? 212. So one question you would ask now. Look at, in 2020, we had $5 million as our revenue gotten from online sales. 2021, we had online, we had 212. Sorry, we had 243. One question, if you're very inquisitive, one question would be, what caused the drastic increase? Okay, what caused the drastic increase from 2020? Look at what we had. All of a sudden, it's not even, it didn't do 2x, not even $10 million. All of a sudden, in 2021, the next year, we had these sales in online. Please, who wants to answer that question? I think I should wrap up this session in the next 3 minutes so that we could, let me not digress too much. Beverly, go ahead.
Yes. If you're looking at the factors of what happened in 2020, I'll say COVID. COVID happened, so most of people were at home, so the ordering of online increased. So of course, the revenue will increase during that time.
Okay. Beatrice, your hands are up. Go ahead. Let me. After this,
Yes.
I won't take any answer again.
She's just saying almost same thing as me. COVID
Okay.
happened. That period, lots of ordering took place. And then secondly, I
Okay.
want to say that you are not digressing, sir. You are actually teaching data analysis. We need this
Okay. Thank
knowledge.
you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you. So, okay. So now, honestly speaking, sincerely, when I even looked at it when I was creating the visual, I didn't even think about COVID. My mind didn't even go that COVID occurred in 2020. But unfortunately, whilst the response from both of you sounds correct or seems correct, unfortunately, it may be wrong. I didn't say it's wrong. It may be wrong. The reason is because we are working by assumption. You know the reason why I said that? Because we don't have facts. Hey, I didn't. Okay, one of the classes I was teaching, when I started introducing Excel, I said data analysis is the collection of facts. Fact is truth. Okay, collection of facts. Because we're not sure now. This data set didn't come with data dictionary. In fact, you didn't even work with. That's why I said the data is limited. The best this data set, what we're giving, could do for us is that it will just give us an overview of how to ask questions. You saw, in fact, the first thing I wanted to address with this data set was just this. When I clicked on it, I saw, okay, what happened? It might sound true, and honestly, we can just quickly adopt it and say, okay, it's COVID. But that's not concrete fact enough. So you're just working with assumptions, and assumptions, of course, we know it's not going to take us anywhere far. Hey, there's one thing. If I could remember this quote, it would have driven my point home very well. I've forgotten this quote. Maybe I'll remember it as I'm teaching. So yes, it might sound correct, but then we're working with assumptions. Okay, facts must be accurate. That's why when collecting data, you must be very, very, very. There's a word called over scrupulous, something. You must be very detailed, meticulous. So now, to answer this question, now we're not sure if it's really COVID. Okay, because we don't have other facts that could tell us, okay, what actually caused this, right? It sounds true. Even myself, I almost wanted to just affirm to that. Okay. So, but what I'm just trying to say is that we are not driven by fact. That's why it's called data-driven decision making. Data-driven is you must have data. So now we don't have those. We don't have data dictionary with this data set. So we all we're just doing is we're just simulating work. But when you begin to work with a real, I wish I could just show you this. Like real, when I'm collecting data, those in working in finance and banking, you can relate. Okay, everything must be collected. Everything must have strong information. You're not assuming. You can't just say I have 40% or 30% of our this thing was spent on buying subscription. Where's the fact? That's why I think I'm going too much. Let me go back to it. Let me just see this and wrap up. I don't know how many of us watch Lions Den, or what's it called? Is it Big Shack or something, where people go and pitch their business? They pitch their business, and the first thing they ask them, okay, I'm interested in this business. This is what I have. The first thing they ask them, what is your total revenue per year, or what is your return on investment? You know those business questions now, those equity and the likes. Can we still hear me, please? Okay. So
Yes, sir.
so if you don't have those facts, we need facts. You can't just come and start assuming that my total revenue for this business, I started this business in the last 6 months, so I'm trying to scale it up. I need fundings. Okay, you can't just come and start giving them. We need facts to actually. So this data set is really is limited. The best it can just give is to simulate what's happening in the real world. Okay, to tell us why there was an increase in this and why there was a decrease in that. All right. So, and asking the right questions. So I think I've been able to answer that question. Maybe not very, very well because of time. SQL is used to carry out. You saw what I was just showing that first. Carry out data. You're analyzing your data, asking questions, exploratory data analysis, and feature engineering. You are generating, more information from the already existing information you have, and the like. So you can go ahead and begin to ask questions. All right, and that reminds me, there's I think we are already done with the next assignment that myself and Mr. Daniel. So I will share that. I've just had a quite engaging week this period. Okay, so let's go back to our next. So yes, to answer the question in a nutshell. So sometimes, most of the time, data set is already there. Okay, the database is already there. They have data, and if you know what you're doing, you can begin to suggest more things. While others, you have to go out there to do survey, take survey. All right, so I hope you can understand something. So where was I again? Data B. Oh boy. Okay, so date. This is the date function. Okay, so we leave it like this. So if you see this, what's this now? This is date. Okay. So this is date. We just leave like this. There's another data type, blob, photos. So we're working with structured data, not unstructured data. So we're not going to touch this in this class. All right. So back to where we were. Dates. I think I'm done with that. Okay. See, can we still hear me? Something just came to mind. Let me trash this out. So look at now, 2020. Okay, 2021. Now somebody said it's COVID. What about if it's government policies here? Have you thought about that? What if this is government policies? Government policies came on board. Some policies that affect business, right? They say, okay, if you are just the way different banks now are saying, if you want to transfer anything less than this, OPS, I think OPS is doing that. Some other fintechs too. If you want to do this. The charge will be this, and for a transaction above 100,000 naira, it will incur a charge of 100 naira or 1,000 naira. I think I saw one this thing like that, one memo like that, sometime early this year. So that could also be a contributing factor aside COVID. Let's say COVID is there. That could also be a contributing factor. Only that the contribution to the factor could be, let's say, 6%. So all of these things are data driven. So you don't just work with assumption. For those of us doing research that have done masters or something, or you will understand what research is all about. You don't publish something that people will not begin. You know what the implication. You just see a World Health Organization says that the average lifespan of those living in Nigeria or in one country is this and that. Where are the facts? All right, don't work with assumptions. So all of these things could have. So if you, all of these things can affect this, and also can affect the price of things in the market. All right. So I can go on and go on talking. A lot of things coming to mind now. What if people are not exposed to online marketing? That's another question. Let's leave this matter for Matthias. Somebody's hand is up. See another thing too. See another thing too. Look at the let's look at the price of things in the market. Okay, for those of us that are in Nigeria that can relate to. Do you a lot of things can be tied to several things. The price of, let's say, fish in the market now can be tied to the lack of fish in the water body, because there are no what's it called now? Our water body is dying. All right, the pollution and the rest. And look at it and see how it can now, just because of our water bodies are dying, it can tie to average lifespan. And this is what I mean. Fishermen, they go to fish, and then somebody that has been fishing for the past how many years, okay, he knows how things were before. A day he can catch up to like 100 fishes. But recently now, anytime he goes to the river to fish, he doesn't get up to 20 catch compared to 100. Out of that frustration, anger, and everything, it can begin to lead to depression, and that thing can affect life. So if you want to because if there was a data hackathon I participated in, and it was more like we're working on SDG goals, standard sustainable development goals, all the different SDG. So we're looking at how those things can affect. So now if a fisher goes to go and fish, he's not happy with the catch, he's not happy with family and everything. All of these things can be tied to just because there's not enough fish in the sea. That's data already. So you cannot say that, okay, because of this, the fisherman does not it leads to depression, and then you begin to see people within this local government in this state, their average lifespan is this. We cannot begin to find the root cause. Why do you think the average lifespan is this? It could be to depression. The fisherman has a family, he has to feed. Okay, he's not meeting up. Pressure and everywhere comes from. You can see how it has. We found the root cause. So all those things are data driven, and before you know, it now begins to tie down to genetics. Okay, high blood pressure, and then he gives birth to another child, and then genetics grows, and begin to see some things that are hereditary and everything. You can see how it's tying down to. So that's data. Actually, if you are working in the health sector, if you're working in finance sector, you can see how you can begin to find root cause. All right. So data is facts, collection of facts. All right. Don't just assume. See, because the lifespan is because we suspect that the gas flaring is here. You can see other things too that adds to it. So I promise you, this will be the last. This will be the last addition to this. Let me not talk. I've spoken too much. Let's go into real business, please. I believe we understand what we're doing, Abby. I'm just trying to buttress some points, please. So let's ride on, please. All right. So we're still creating table. Can you imagine? So we're done. So we're done creating the table. All right. We're done creating the table. So we've created 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns, and we've specified their data type: integer, numeric value. This is a variable character, 20, decimal, 62, date, and the likes. So where were we? So yes, so we're done now. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to hatch it. All right. So remember, if I just do Control Enter, it will return a negative distinct for me. So we have to highlight what we are querying. So we've created a table. I believe you can see this now. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Let me. My mind has to come back. Okay. Sorry, I just my flow of thoughts. All right. So we've created a table. Yes. So that's what we've done. We've created a table. Okay. So we're still under DDL using this analogy now. So we've created the table, just these lines, the columns, the structure of the table. So this is what it means by creating structure. Okay, while that loads. So to see our table now, remember here is to show us our database here under this pane. Can we still see my screen? All right, so under this pane is the database. So now let's check for our tables. We want to see our tables. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We'll put we'll write show tables just the way we showed our database here. So write show tables here. We want to see our tables now. Show tables. Okay, and then we'll put our semicolon to write it. Yeah, show tables. So to see tables in TEFEM. This is the table data we have now. All right. So this can only be used. This SQL statement can only be used when you are using a specific database. So you saw the progression from the last class. We created a database. We wanted to just see the database. So this is just like a temporary pane to just show you what you're doing. All right. And then if you want to work in database, you must use the function, this keyword use TEFEM, the database. All right. So we've now created a table in the database, and now we are, let's see our table created. All right. So this will take me, so the next thing we want to do is to see the structure of our table. This will take me to what's it called? To DML. All right. So this is okay. Is it DML now? All right, DML. We are going to use this keyword now. Select. All right. I'm trying to put it together so that we understand. Hold on, please. I don't. Okay, so you see now we've used the common DDL language. We've used create. All right. So we're just on create. We've not used alter. We've not used dropped. Can we see my screen, please? Okay. So we've not used. You see, these are the 4 keywords. So I highlighted them there. Here. So you go online if you. Beatrice, you can't see my screen. Or is it because we've just used one since? Okay, okay. Oh, sorry about that. Try and refresh now. Okay, so see what we've been using since just create. We are yet to use drop, alter, truncate, still under DDL, all right? But now I'm gonna what's the word now? What's the word? I'm going to shift from here now. The word is not coming to my head. Okay, we're using create. Normally the order is to follow this. I'm treating DDL now. So I'm going to use select right now. Although we've not started using DML yet too. Okay, let me go back. All right, so to that select statement, the select statement, helps you retrieve the columns. You want to see the structure of your database. All right, so I'm going to use the select statement. Select. This is how I'm going to select to see I want to see what is, because I've created this thing now. I've created this table. So I want to see how it's just showing me the names of the table in the database, but I want to see the structure. So I'm going to use the select keyword and from. All right. So this is the keyword. So the combination of this statement is telling the database retrieve, show me the columns within the database. I want to see the structure of my table rather. So select, I'm coming, just hold on, I will explain this. Select asterisk from the table name. So I'm going to be interested in the table name. The table name is product. Okay, product, and I'll use my semicolon. Are we together? I need to run fast because of time. Are we together, please? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, so I will hatch this query now. So this is what it will show me. See now, product ID, product name, category, price, and manufacturing date. Thank you, thank you. I've seen thumbs ups. All right, so this is it now. So let me show you what this does. I think this thing is in this note. Okay, so select retrieves data from a database. Can we see my screen? Okay, select retrieve data from a database. Then see the state, see the syntax here. This is the syntax. So go ahead. The syntax says select keyword, then the name. Okay. So please understand the syntax, all right? It's very important. Select, then the name. Okay, it retrieves data from database. So you can use it. You can also say it retrieves colons from the database to see the colons. So it retrieves the colon from. Are you seeing the syntax? It's like English language. Give me, select means give me a chilled bottle of drink from the freezer. In this case, employee. So this is the syntax. I didn't highlight all of this so that it will be to make sense. Okay, so give me drink from the freezer. Where we'll get to these are filtering functions now. All right, do we understand? Okay, so this is select statement. So go over this note. There's some queries. This thing here we understand. So this just program is the language now. So select this. So now see where I use the asterisk. The asterisk, okay, it's a symbol. In other programming, in other something like Excel, this thing is called I think wildcards. Returns the asterisk returns all the colons and their respective attributes from a table. That's the function of the asterisk. Please take note. If you can make a mental note or you can make a handwritten note, it returns all the colons and their respective values. So we've not begun to insert data into the colons. All right, we've not begun to insert data into the colons. So it returns all the colon names in the data set or in the table and their respective values. But now we can't see the value because we've not begin to insert data. So that's it for the select keyword. So let me see if I can highlight this. Can put color B. Okay, better. So just for clarity. Okay, so you just know that okay, these are your keywords. Okay, so these are you put it. So now, so you can write it straight like this. So I'm just the reason I'm doing it just for what's it called? Just to make it fine. All right, so I can select the control and paste it and write it again instead of using this select. So let's say I'm interested in just seeing the product name. Somebody comes to the shop, for example, say, please, how much for this? Maybe you go to a library or a book or a stationery. You want to buy a book, maybe an educative book, any kind of book. You like reading books. How much for these books by Miles Moron, or this book by TD Jakes, or this book? Okay, so let me see the name. So you can say select product. So we're just interested in the product name and then the price. So you can say select product name, comma, okay, and then price. Okay, from, you can see from the fridge now, or from the products table. So run this query. You can see that's giving us just product name and price. Are we on the same page? Are we getting it? All right, Inspire. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Let's
why
do
is it that comma was not included to the price? Like after the price was written, you did not add comma to it.
beautiful, beautiful. So that's the syntax. All right. Some things you
Okay.
can't question. Just why I would have asked one funny question now. So it's just the rule of the script or the language. Okay. Why does um why does question mark comes after how are you? Okay, you can't question it. That's the language. All right. So this is the so if I'm supposed to return three columns now, let's say I want to return the product ID too. Okay, now so you see, say we want to tweak. So let me copy this again. Control C, enter, control paste. Okay. So remember if we return, look at it now. Remember if we run this one now, this asterisk that signifies for all the column names. So product ID comes first, followed by product name, category, price, manufacturing date. So let's say I want to return, I can return them in an orderly manner or in an ordered manner. Is that the right word? Okay, so I can say return manufacturing date, manufacturing. I can return more than two colons to manufacturing date. Hey, I need speed. Manufacturing date. I can return price, and I can now come and put comma here and return product. See now, product. Look at, so take note. Take note. You see, I use underscore here. Remember, the rule is that you can't use you can't name a colon with space. It must be underscore. That's the rule. So I can, if I come and put, I forgot that I used underscore and just put product ID to return an error. See, I'm returning manufacturing. Look at it now. Look at it. There should be where I can uh, so can you see the error under unknown colon product in the field manufacturing price? Can we see my screen? Thumbs up, please. Let me know where. Okay, my other screen is it's not showing. It's not showing. That's why I want to be sure. So you can see select manufacturing date, price, product ID from product, error code 105, unknown colon product. Okay, so there's it returns. So you must take time and understand the basic, please, because when it comes to troubleshooting and debugging, oh boy, it can take your time. All right, so the truth is you might not even know because you might have forgot. See, I almost forgot that I even let me even do product. Let me even close it together. See, let me close it together and run it. It will still return error. Are you seeing? I'm writing this the correct name of product ID, but because I didn't put, you just forget. You think because you put manufacturing date, you joined it together. So sometimes you just understand what you're doing, even if you don't put. Yeah, let me space it now and remove this semicolon and try to run it. It will not run. Okay, to run. Okay, it signifies okay. So I just reordered it now. Normally product ID should come first. Look at it because it's on my first colon, but now look at it. Product ID is not coming out first. So you can write it that way anyway. Are we good? Are we good? Please, if I ask any question, just give me a thumbs up or is it downs up or thumb down? Okay. I can't see my screen now, so I'm trying to monitor the call. Exactly. Sometimes it might be just those tiny details that will keep you. Don't worry, experience will teach you better. Experience teach you. So you see that Those things are very, very important. So let me get rid of all of this. Okay. So selected that. So using this, so I just deviated exactly. That was the word I wanted to use. So I just deviated from DDL now to DML just to show you what we've done. Remember, I trashed that in the first class. Okay, that the that DDL defines. Look at it. Remember, I made mention. I highlighted these two keywords. It define or modify our structure of database, and I use this analogy using when I was drawing all of this. And if I come over here, you can see that DML is used to manipulate the data set. Okay, this command is used for data retrieval. Are we together? So the first keyword here. So I was trying to retrieve. That's why I use select, but we are not there yet. So let's progress. So the next thing we want to do is so we currently have no entry in the data set. Okay. If I run this query now, select all the column names, we currently have no entry. So suppose we want to create another table in the same database. So remember our dimension tables and our fact table. So let's say we want to replicate something like that. Now we want fact tables and the likes. So let's say we want to creating another table. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Let me get rid of this. So how do we go about it? Anybody want to try? 1 minute, 30 seconds. Anybody want to try? Want to create another table? Okay, Beverly. Beverly active today. That's nice.
Okay, we go create table.
Okay. Okay, because of time. Of course, it's you are correct. I know you are correct. So let me just point it out. So okay, let's create the table. There's no harm in trying. Create table, go ahead.
Okay, create table and the name of the table that
You want to create, right?
you want to create, yeah.
Create table. So let's say let's create table. Give me a table name.
Um Hi.
Okay, let's do
God, my head
let's
is
do laptop.
empty. Let's go sales. Okay, laptops.
Okay. So what am I doing now? Okay. I just put all of this. Okay.
Like,
So let's say our table contains 3 columns: ID, all right, integer, comma, what else again? Brand name, brand of the laptop, brand to contain a voucher because maybe Lenovo, MacBook, model voucher. Okay, this should be can use 15. Can use 15. What else again? What else? Okay, there's you see now it started giving me error because I've not put my comma here. I put my comma here. You see, okay. So it's just like, see now, you may ask why we. I would have asked the question, but because of time, why we not putting comma here? So if you just the way you're listening, listening, you're trying to list items, rice, Maggi, fish. You don't put comma. That's the rule of English. And beans. You get the logic. You get the logic, right? So that's the same thing here. So this is like the last. So this is like the last thing here. So we don't put comma. Okay. So that's, so just understand it's like it follows English rules. So we create this, we hatch this. Okay. So let's say we want to see our tables now. Show tables. We've created 2 tables now. Okay. I wanted to say something. Okay, a hand is up. I wanted to say something. That's why, but I just went ahead of myself. Let me get rid of this. If you want to create another table, it's always recommended if you use specify the database you want to assign it to, because now we just have one database here. So that was the question I wanted to ask before, but I said let me just do it. So you write use the database you want this table to be created in. So you can say use TEFEM, okay? Use TEFEM because in case where you have several databases, okay, I cannot use TEFEM before we cannot create this database. But fortunately, it ran too. But in case you have multiple databases and you want to specify where the table is supposed to be, where it's supposed to be in, you use the word use TEFEM. Just we wanted to, after creating database, we did show database. Then wanted to create a table. You use TEFEM and started creating this product table. Likewise here to use TEFEM and create laptops. All right, go ahead, Rachel. Raphael, rather. Go ahead, please.
Okay, sir. So my question is, for do we really have to specify every data type? For instance, now when we are creating create table laptops, then ID, do we really have to specify integer, voucher, or date type? John, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Do you really have to specify everything?
Yes, please. At all times, you have to specify. At all times, you have to specify. It's like I think it's a good example. It's like, yeah, in well-developed countries, okay, when it comes to waste management, you don't just throw dirty everywhere. There's a bin for plastic. There's a bin for biodegradable materials. There's a bin for non-biodegradable materials. There's a bin for all of those things. Okay, so you know where to put your kitchen waste. So you must specify, just like this too. You must always specify the data type. This is a database. This is a database. All right. So and the different data types. You can't put integer in a text. It will return error. All right. So imagine you put character in a numeric colon now. Yeah, you want to sum it up. You can't sum character. You can't sum character, and even Excel will return error. If you want to sum character or if you want to do some character and text, it will return which error is that again, sir? That's part of error handling. To return, I've forgotten that error to return. Is it norm error or something? All right. So we still have hands up. Okay. Okoye, please. Wow, we have hands up. Please ask your questions fast. I want to touch some other things.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Please, I'm asking the number in the bracket. What is it for?
Like the 15 that you put after the
Okay, so
after the voucher.
the 15 is the number of characters that I want to store. So we've not said that in the next class we'll begin to insert values. All right, so the 15 is the number of characters that we want to install, input in. Okay, so I use myself an example. My name is Efeogene, Efeoghene, 9 characters. So it will accommodate, the 15 will be able to accommodate 9 characters. The moment I put more than 15 letters, it will return an error. So we must specify the size of the characters we're putting in. Okay.
But can you put lesser than the number?
No, it will return an error. I gave that analogy in the beginning of the class. If you invite 4 visitors to your house and you have just 3 chairs, one person will be left standing. All right, you don't want that situation here. So you must either have exactly 4 chairs to welcome your 4 visitors or more chairs. Same thing. So if your name now is so I can't recall the name again. So how many characters? That's it, right? So you must specify. Go over the video again. You go ahead. You can understand better. All right. Who else? There are a lot of hands up again. Deborah, I've not heard you to this class. Go ahead. Be fast. I want to touch some things. Deborah. Okay, the next person. Who's there? Chini.
No, I'm the one.
Chini.
My name. Abi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening.
Who's
Well
speaking?
done. Yes. Sorry,
Right.
I didn't know if I missed it earlier in this class, but I remember that Power BI we're able to import data. Does that apply to SQL first? Secondly, we are creating tables without what's in the attributes. That I mean, all these we have structure, but we don't have. Is it that we've not gotten there, or how do we import? Okay.
Yes,
That's what
we've
I
not
wanted
gotten there.
to.
Sorry to cut you. We've not gotten there, and yes, you can import data. All right.
Okay.
You can
That's
import.
nothing.
You can import data. You can see here connect to database, manage database. So you can import data. So we'll get to a point where we import data. Of course, you can't. We will use data set in the course of this class. Okay. So that's it. All right. Who's there again? Chini.
All right, good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening.
I noticed that each time you create a table or database, the next thing that follows is true. What's the implication of not putting it?
The first thing that follows is what?
The next thing that follows is show, like show tables after creating table. Then after creating database, the next thing that you did is show database. What's the
Okay. So
implication of
of
doing
not doing
that
no
or not doing
implication. You just to be sure that okay, it has created. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's experience. The reason I'm showing us this because it's just more like a beginner class. All right. So if I want to create a database now, and I don't need to use. I just write my database, create database. I know it has already created. It will show here to show on this schemas pane here on this left side. So I'm just showing you that okay, if you want to actually see the database, okay, let's say you want to see the database in this script. Look at all the database here. All right, look at these are all the database here. Staff, TEFEM, World, Sakila, performance schema. These are the database here. So I just want to sometimes you can forget the database that is in your, so you just use it. All right. So and the show tables too. I'm just showing you this is a keyword that can be used. Show tables to just see the number of tables in your database. We have currently in TEFEM database now, we have 2 tables, laptops and products. All right.
Okay, thank you. I get it now.
All right. Thank you. So later on, we can import data very well. Of course, you can't be creating tons. If you want to carry out analysis on the one of the capabilities of SQL, of course, I didn't mention that, is that Excel has its limit to the data set it can import, the length of rows. All right, I think I've forgotten the length of rows, but
1
SQL,
million.
1 million, SQL can accommodate. Are you talking? Have you seen data sets? We're talking about millions of rows that can hang your system. All right, SQL can do that. Python too. So that's one functionality. So we can be creating tables for those millions of rows. We have the data set already. So that data that have been collected for years, timestamp data, every day is updating. Okay, how can you know the number of cars that is plying a particular city at a particular time? Okay, data engineering, you have a lot of things that could make those things easy. They're collecting data on a regular, every day. When you load, we're not even talking about 2 MB data size or 50 MB. We're talking about gigabytes. Okay, you can talk about, we're talking about 4 gig of data. 4 gig, that's the size of the data, millions of rows. Okay, structured, unstructured data sets too. So SQL is powerful to do that. All right, one more thing, Musa.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. Well done,
Yes, you
sir.
can.
So
Thank
I
you.
want to ask, let's say a data that contains like thousands of rows and columns, like let me say HR data set. Is this how we are going to be entering them one after the other till we got to that level, as in the 5,000 data sets and more?
No, no, no,
Thank
no,
you.
no, 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 no. So I'm just showing. Hey, I'm just showing. Uh, no, no. We can import data. We are not there yet. We can import data using all of these tabs here. We can import data. Okay. We can import data. So I'm just showing how to create a table, a data set, just to create. So if you have a data set already, you just to import it and begin to run your queries. Okay. All right, let me show you something. Let me see if I can get this file. Open SQL. Let's see this thing. There's a data set I'm looking for table. No, that's site. Yeah. Let me just continue that. All right. So moving on, we are going to do this. Let's use this. The next thing I want to show us is the keyword. So remember, we are still on this. Can we see my screen? So where is this? thing now. Where is this thing? Subcategories. So we're still on. All right. So let's alter our database. Let's see what alter does. Alter modifies the structure of an existing database already. Okay. It modifies the structure of an existing database. This is syntax. Alter table employee. So let's say we want to add a colon. So now remember these are our colons. Let's select. No, let's select this. Okay, these are product ID, product name, category, price, manufacturing date. And let's say we want to add a colon code. So this is so we're altering or modifying the structure. We've just created the structure. Maybe I gave that analogy, the skeletal framework, or you are roofing a house, the roof, the sheets, all right, the rods or whatever it's called. Okay, so now let's say we want to remove manufacturing date or we want to add a colon. So this is the syntax. So you can see, let me put this here now. So you can see Control C. Let me put it as a keyword here. So we'll do it like this. Are we together? Somebody's mic is on. Check your mic. So I've turned this to a comment now. Alter. The alter keyword, it modifies the structure of a existing database. Alter tables. What does it do? Alter the table. So we can call this table. Precious. Somebody's voice is mic is open. Okay, you can see this is the table name. So this is the syntax. Okay, add colon. You can call this colon name. So this is the generic syntax. Are we together? So this is generic syntax. Varchar. So this is it. Okay. So this is the syntax. Alter table. Then you put your table name and then add a colon name. All right. So now let's practicalize. So this is a comment. So come here and do like this. So you can see. Let me get rid of this. You see alter table. What's our table name? We want to alter product table. So we say alter product. Please follow through. Okay, we're almost done. Let me just touch this in the next few minutes. Alter table products. Then add. So just like English, add what? So which colon name? Somebody suggest a colon name on the fly. What do we want to add to this? Okay, let's say we want to add the cost price. Okay, you cannot say you now write the colon name cost price, or you can just say cost price. Are we together? Cost price. Then since you have to define the data type that is going to store. Remember, this is the colon name. So that's why we're going to use varchar again. Varchar. And then we specify a way. Sorry, we can't use varchar because it's going to be a numeric value. A decimal this thing. So we can say decimal. Okay. And then put this parenthesis and say can still use 6.2. Let me use something else so that we know look as if it's only 6.6.6.6 or anything. Let's use 6.4.2. Okay. And then we put our semicolon. Okay. So I'll highlight it and then run it. So it has gone. You can see under here, alter table products, add column, correct, green. So let's say we can now come and say select asterisk, which means all the colons and their respective attributes from where? from product. Okay, and put our semicolon and run this query. Control Shift Enter. You can see we've added cost price. Are we together? Okay, so we've added cost price. So that's that. So now you are altering it. You are what's the word now? You are just not adjust. You are modifying the structure. We are creating structures here. We've not started imputing this thing. So we've used this keyword now. Okay, alter. Okay. So what if you want to add more than one colon? Okay, we can come here and duplicate this. Control C, Control V, right? And press OK and change this to email. Okay, and put this voucher. Okay, and then put this. So email is going to be very long. So let's use 30 because my email address is long. Don't even, I'm sure it's more than 30. So we can hash this and run again. Okay, so if we select from product to see our structure, you can see we've added email. Are we together? Thumbs up. Beautiful, beautiful. So this is it. All right. So we can now say we've checked this. We've checked this, right? Create alter. You see what it does. We'll dive into more examples. So let's look at the word drop. Okay. So the alter changes. Basically, the alter changes, modifies the structure of an existing database. All right. It's either it's adding or deleting colon. So now, before we even let me see. So you can see it changes the structure of an existing database object. All right. So you can either use the alter to add. Let me put it here, add colons, and then you can also delete colons. All right. So say we want to drop, we're not interested in let's say we want to decentralize. We want to drop email, or we're like, no, email shouldn't be this. This makes sense now. Now remember our dimension tables from the fact table. Now we are normalizing our denormalized table. So we want to create a dimension product table, product ID, product name, category, price. In fact, makes sense. Manufacturing date and cost price. So now we say, okay, no, let's break email off. Are we together? Can we see my screen? Okay, let's break email off. How do we do that? We come here. Okay. Let me write another colon, another dropping an existing colon, Okay, so we can say alter table, just copy this, Control P, and change the keyword here to drop. Okay, drop email. So now we don't need to, we're defining, the only difference between this now is that we were defining this email voucher. So we're not defining again. Instead, we're dropping it. So we'll get rid of data type. Just specify alter product drop email. So we run this query. So it has run. So we select from product again to be sure. You see it has gone out. No longer email. Right. So this is the syntax. All right. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so the next thing we'll be doing, I think it should be the last. So let me just wrap up now. Let's check this. So still on the DDL commands, create, alter, drop. All right. So look at it here. The drop, it deletes an existing database object, drop table employee. We can also use it to drop a table. So this is what I mean. Remember, we're dropping an existing column. So we want to drop dropping an existing table within a database. All right. So you can just say now show tables. I want to see how many tables. Show tables. Okay, let's see how many tables are in our database. Currently, we're working in the TEFEM database, just 2 tables. So let's delete laptop. But we are done with laptop tables. So let's delete it. So we use just this simple keyword, drop, and call the table name laptop. Okay, laptop. Sorry, drop table. Okay, drop table laptops. So you see it has executed. So we'll come and say show tables again. We won't see product table laptops. Right? Are we on the same page? Okay. So the next thing is truncate. Okay, this is a reserved keyword. So the truncate, let's look at what the truncate does. The truncate removes all the data from a table, but retains its structure. So this is the syntax truncate. But we can't truncate. The reason is because we said it remove all the data from a table. So we've not included values within the table. If I select from product, now you see there's nothing. No product ID, no product name, just the structure. We've just created the structure. So we can't use the truncate now. Just the way I digressed from DDL to DML. Okay. So I did create, I did drop, I did alter, and I wanted to show you how to retrieve data, just to show you what we're doing. That's why I came to DML, manipulation language. So when we go into DML, now when we begin to insert, update, and delete, same way I will digress or come back to DDL to show that we can appreciate what truncate does. So for now, we can't use truncate because we're not inserted. I'm just trying to take it in an orderly manner, DDL, DML, and then DQL, data query language. Okay. So we've touched create, drop, alter, select. These are the main keywords you will see all the time. So maybe in the next class, by God's grace, we'll start with insert, delete, and we'll push it forward. Okay, so that's it for the DDL class today. Favor.
Okay, sir. Good evening.
Good
I
evening.
don't want to be faster than my shadow. My question would have been like, what if we want to rearrange the columns within a table? What do we do?
Okay, if you want to rearrange the column within a table. Okay, so
Yeah.
you already answered yourself. All right, so we'll do that because of time. All right, we'll do that in our next class. So they fall under different, what's it called? Different subcategories. Okay, so we'll answer that because of time. All right. Any other question? Thank you. Someone's hand is still up. Is it same favor? Any other question? Any question? Let me quickly answer it before we call it a day. All right. So since we don't have any other question, so do we understand it up to this point? All right. All right. Thank you very much. So let me stop recording. So this will be it for the DDL, the data definition language. And next class will kick off with DML. All right. So take time to go over the video again. Yes. That reminds me, I've got assignments for us. All right. So I'll be dropping the first assignment there. Simple. Dropping the first assignment. Okay. So you ask for it and surely you receive it. It's simple assignment. They're already here. I'll push them out one by one. It's just very simple as we begin to go on. So you'll get to understand it better. So I think I would edit some of the materials, send the other project, and then drop the assignment. So simple, just to practice what it is now. All right. So this is some of the assignments. So just go over it and practice with it. All right. Practice, when I mean practice with it's this thing. If you leave it, you leave you. All right. So practice with it. So thank you so much for today. I really appreciate the response and our participation. Very, very encouraging. Appreciate. So
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.